Hi guys, recently we've been playing a game called AirMech, a bit different than the other games that we've been playing, Minecraft. But we thought we'd make a video on it considering the fact that we for some reason signed up for the AirMech tournament coming up in a couple days. Not sure when I'm going to post this video though. So, I haven't posted any videos on this before, and I don't know if any of you know about this game at all, so we're going to try to make this an introduction video as well as an announcement video for the tournament. First of all, this game is somewhat like other games such as Dota or League of Legends with the concept of two bases and then almost like tower things through a couple different paths. But with this, the maps are a lot different, and it's not towers that you destroy, it's bases you capture.
And the bases provide a tactical advantage.
Yes, they do. So, if you still are very confused, it's a game where there's two fortresses, your bases, and their shields are basically, you're basically trying to protect your base. And then there's different neutral bases, outposts, and in between the two teams' bases, and your goal is to capture most of the bases and make your way to the enemy base to destroy it.
And by the way, there's a lot of very unique troops in it, and a lot of the game is based around kind of like your troops, because you can choose what AirMech you have, except you have 9 different troops, and you can use any compilation or setup of those. And troops actually play a really big part in it, and there's a lot of very unique ones. There's one that gives your base shields, which aren't as helpful as they would seem, but they're still kind of helpful.
Now introducing who the person I'm recording with. This is Sam.
I realized that too.
So, as you can see while Sam was saying that, I was rapidly paging through 4 different loadouts of mine. The game's called AirMech due to them being mechanical robots, mechs, which can transform from flying form to robot form. There's tons of different stuff you can customize, parts for the vehicle, troops, pilots, items, different cosmetics as well. But since it's a decently hard game to explain, we're just going to play it. Co-op, I guess. There's 3 modes: solo, by yourself against bots; co-op, you and someone else, you and another real person versus bots; and PvP, you, another real person versus another real person. Or people.
Oh yeah, and there's right now there's only 9 AirMechs, but I'm gonna be using one that's called Saucer. It's pretty much a UFO.
And I'm going to be using a harassing class called Angel with a sniper rifle.
And Saucer's kind of a harassing class too, but
you can see we have
and then there's
different
Neo.
You can see how we have different troops here, but so
and Osprey.
You can use
Osprey's a healing one.
We
Neo's
don't need to know this right now.
Yes,
but,
they do. They must
so
learn.
you see that I have all these unlocked right now. It's because I bought all of them. You start with just the striker, which is just a plane. So here we go. There's a 20-second pre-game period in which you can. There's not lower costs, but so as far as units go, you build them and you build them, move them around, and control them in game. So right now, 30 seconds. What I just did is I got my first ability, my somethingth ability, and my 8th ability. So abilities can just do cool different things. Everyone has guardians, creeps, or not creeps, creep spawns, and level up ability. Oops, I should probably get some stuff. So like I was saying, there's reduced building times. No, Sam, bad. What I mean by reduced building times is when you click on one of these units, it takes a certain amount of time to build them, and you also have to make sure you have the correct amount of credits up there. And as you can see, I'm slowly gaining credits here. So you saw where we spawned. That was the base that we were talking about. These different units. These are units. These are the abilities. To make sure that players don't have too much of a certain, don't have just an unfair size of an army, there's something called upkeep in this game, or a way too big amount of defenses. Every time you make a troop or make a unit, you use a bit of upkeep, and you have a certain amount depending on how many bases you have captured. So more bases, you have the ability to make more troops and units. So you just gotta make sure you don't use too much upkeep. And now Sam. He is silent. He's like, I like toasted. So
I recently bought my own toaster.
yes, he did.
For like no reason, because we already have a toaster. So
Yeah, he wanted to feel special using his toaster.
I had money
And
and I had a toaster.
he had money.
Well, I had a
he now has a
in
toaster.
front of me that I could have bought, and I apparently did buy it.
I don't remember buying this toaster. I don't know where this is going.
Apparently I bought the toaster.
So most of what we've built so far are turrets, and Sam making something that we argue over the name of.
I call it an Aegis, even though I know it's horribly wrong,
but
I just like saying Aegis.
yeah, probably Aegis or Aegis, not sure which, but you know. So what I'm making and have been placing are turrets, just making a line of turrets to prevent enemies from taking this base that we started out with, or this outpost. I should say outpost always. I'm also placing stuff, these honey pots behind it to heal them up when they get damaged. Just overall protecting the space. We usually don't worry an incredible amount about mid in this against bots, considering it's pretty easy to hold up against their attacks.
Can you make a honey pot right here?
Yeah. Some control hints, by the way. All of like the keys, like F1, all the F keys, those can level up your abilities. Like this one right here, that's my second ability, so I can hit F2 to upgrade it, like I just did.
I got first blood. Oh yeah, by the way, there's like first blood on this. Not kind of obvious that this game would have that, but just pointing it out.
Yeah, so you can see our health. You can see our health bar. Kind of obvious what that is. I have no idea what it does. But then you also have your energy bar. It'd be in more magic-based games, it'd be like mana, but most things like abilities take up energy. What you've been seeing me do, where I get that laser sight, is sniper rifle.
And then I can go invisible. Because
no one cares. You're not special, Sam.
I'm special.
Well, headshot.
I'm a special person that no one cares about because they can't see me, but if they could, they would love me.
You don't know that. They could hate you.
Well, then I'm just gonna burn up all of the base's energy.
And now I'm going to try and kill all these incoming troops. Hurry. Are you dead? No, you're not.
No, I was hovering.
Sam, this is Dad.
I'm dead now.
You're a pro at this game. So, like other games, like Dota and other games that I mentioned beforehand, there are creeps in this game, which are weak units that just spawn occasionally. Well, not just like at a random time. I made it sound like a random time. But, they spawn at a certain interval faster while the game progresses. But,
and you have an ability that can actually ever so slightly shorten that time, which is kind of helpful, I think, in the long term.
Yeah, it's the one I just upgraded, the green one, by the way. So you might be wondering what's the point of creeps in this game besides to give a bit more firepower, and that's to capture bases. These four little little stands for these guys are called well, they're technically still called bulb slots because there's just be a light symbolizing that they were in there. But what they do is so if this was a neutral base, we took out all the enemies positioned up here and got 4 of our creeps into the building, then we would have captured it. And if the enemy comes over, destroys all 4 of these little infantry guys up in these stands, towers, whatever you want to call them, then we would lose this base. So that's the capture mechanics of the game and why creeps are so important. You know they took the space over here, right, Sam?
What?
This is very bad.
Why? Why would they take this space?
You know why they took the space.
Well, but why not the other one?
Because we have a massive amount of defenses there and did nothing on here. I doubt they'll try again if we take out these troops, but still. Die, all of you. All the oh, yes. Railgun. Railgun. Can you recapture the space? They don't seem to be doing much with it. I'm gonna get some more turtles out here. Turtles, which I'm placing. You can see why they're named, but they go into their shell, in a sense, when under attack. They just basically act as a wall to protect turrets.
Oh yeah, and like, if you ever see like a turtle just like drop down kind of after it got shot, it kind of has like a stationary mode where it can't move.
That's what I meant by the shell, Sam.
No, the shell is always there.
No, when I said they go into the shell.
They go into the shell when they're scared. They're being shot.
Okay, so, you might be wondering what the XP bar up here is, or what I meant when I mentioned levels. So you get XP by your troops killing other troops, or you killing troops, or you killing people. There's several ways to get XP in this, but then you can see we're both level 7 right now. Just so you know, another way to get levels is using these levelers, which just give you little amounts of XP now and then. But the point of levels is you unlock more upgrades for abilities as you level up, and you also unlock some of the more complex troops as you level up, such as the most powerful tank, the Devastator.
Arguably the most powerful tank. Some people might disagree with that, but...
Well, technically it is the most powerful, but there are advantages of other ones. It's extremely slow, for instance.
So arguably the most powerful.
Die. So, as you can see, the abilities are decently different for each class. Like, my abilities include the sniper rifle, an ability to avoid missiles in the air by doing this, an ability to glide on the ground, and then the other two ones that are unique to my class are hyper accelerators, which is a railgun upgrade, or sniper rifle upgrade, I guess, in which fire faster and actually more damage and faster energy regen, and this one just fire faster. So, and put that. What?
Sorry to interrupt.
And then these other three are for every mech. The creep one we mentioned, guardians, which I've chosen the type of guardian, energy guardians. I had to buy them, but they were not expensive. In-game credits that you earn during the game, by the way. And then these just give me a higher energy capacity. And you can see I have 3, level is 3, kind of makes sense there. And then level, this level 1, just level up faster, yes.
And by the way, there's these things called lockboxes that I just placed down, which spawn occasionally, and I was bringing it back to the base.
I can't stop moving, I'm sorry.
But when you recycle them, you get 20,000, which is pretty helpful sometimes, especially in 3v3 games, because money tends to be a little bit tight there.
Yeah. Ah, God, my keys get getting pressed down. This never happens. Crap. Well, I'm just gonna keep gliding. I clearly can't stop.
What is that, like, pin thing?
I can't stop moving, Sam.
There's a joystick right here. What did you...
What is that? What was that?
What did you just do? You picked
Confused. Okay, okay. The only reason I stopped doing that, though, was because I was... God, what the crap. It's weird. Okay, everything should be better now. What are you saying? Okay, so the lockbox spawned right here. These are some neutral forces guarding that lockbox, including one of the most powerful tanks, Goliaths. So, this is the map down here, in case you hadn't looked. You can see our base, enemy base, dots for where our players are. You also kind of have like a vision range, like due to me being in this location, I can see this much, but since we don't have any units or outposts over here, we can't see any more than that. This can be helpful if you're like hiding a stash of troops down here, like in the over there or something. Hmm. Yeah. You can see the different pilots up here. I'm using a pilot called Lexi, Sam, Ash. Decently easy to learn game. I'm gonna get a Bertha up. Just another type of unit other than turrets or tanks is artillery, and this is one of the more powerful forms of artillery that I'm training or constructing. With artillery, they don't move like tanks or trucks, I guess, would, but they dish out a lot of damage and a lot of splash damage, I should say. You can see where it can fire over there.
Also, there's another game mode called Survival where, you pretty much, it's the same thing pretty much, but you have to defend, everyone in the game's on a team, up to 4 players, and you try to defend against incoming waves of just troops, and eventually troops start coming at you that you can't normally have in the game. Like, there's these things called hats that are pretty much anti-air turrets, and they're turrets, so they can't move, but...
In normal games, that is.
Yeah, except in Survival, they're like these car beds, so they can move around, and it's pretty annoying.
So, you heard us mention a tournament earlier, and I'm not sure exactly, like, I know there's been tournaments before this, but this is one of the bigger tournaments that Carbon Games, the creator of AirMech, has sponsored, but it's called the AirMech Full Force Tournament. I'll be recording it, I guess. There'll be several people broadcasting it on Twitch, some other stuff like that. Yeah. So, any information about that, I'll try to get it in the description. Yeah. So, you can see what I mean by it's helpful that the enemy can't see everywhere. So right now you can see I cannot make any unit except for the generators, and that's due to the fact that we have used all of our upkeep. It's not like, oh, well, now we're completely stuck and we can never...
Well, like, auto train troops pretty much just appear out of nowhere, and they're auto train. Walking or rolling, depending on what it is. Driving. Sorry. It probably fell. Yeah, I don't see it. That's where the Aegises come in handy, because they can shoot down missiles and they actually shoot them down pretty fast. Like, there's a class called the Helix, which we're facing one. It's, yeah, the character Go, the AirMech that Go is playing. It's pretty much a helicopter, and one of its abilities spams missiles, and for me, two Aegises pretty much completely just destroy all of the missiles. I think that she gives like attack damage and stuff. I don't use that though, I actually use them for recharge rate, because I consider recharge rate really important, even though I don't know if other people do. And by the way, something I found is that I'm actually pretty sure that it takes less. I'm pretty sure that the base actually doesn't, still has more energy left over after transferring it to you if you have a higher recharge rate. Just because like my Osprey class, I have an extremely high recharge rate with it, and if I have no energy and then refill, it barely takes any from the base, and it does it extremely quickly. Yeah, it's a very common one. Like half the seekers at base are auto spawn. Uh, Unless like, yeah, or you're over the forest, then like you don't drop it. And, yeah. Mm. They had terrace, but now it's just and that Gorgons are like, you can't get them in game, and they're normally, by the way, like if no one has captured a base yet, there's neutral troops that kind of hang out by it, and they'll attack anyone. Sweet. And by the way, Gorgons are a troop that doesn't spawn at all naturally, but they have really, really powerful they have really, really good firepower, and that's one right there. And also, occasionally, there's this thing that pops up in chat called, like, diamond rolls, or me and Austin call them Ultimate Samson, but, so it'll pop up, like, above the chat thing in a yellow box, and you can click, like, you can click, like, a dice button on it, and it'll give you a random number, 1 to 1,000, and the person with the lowest number gets 60 gems, and the person with the highest number gets 360, I think it is. Also, like, yeah, and you can get like special AirMechs too, where like there's like AirMechs that have skins. Yeah, like skins and they're designed differently, and you can only get those with gems. But um, yeah, I have one for my Osprey class. You might have seen that when we were showing you like when I was like showing my different classes earlier. But that was one of my skins. It's called Night Vision Osprey. Also, by the way, you can download for Steam. Sorry, you already said it. The 28th. No. I like cats.